gonna be like a test, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Delina Raya. I'm the Adult Services Coordinator at my sister's house.
Okay, now I'm Kaylee, and I'm going to be asking you questions for my interview regarding anger and aggression.
Okay.
My first question will be, how do ladies that are currently dealing with these issues deal with them?
All right. Well, there is a lot of sort of pent up, maybe anger about the abuse that they have suffered. Some people don't even realize they're angry about the abuse, and actually one of the topics I do, or several topics I do, is talking about anger and sort of how to acknowledge your anger, to actually feel it in your body, and how to appropriately express anger.
Okay, what about the ladies who have overcome this, like dealing with the anger and the aggression and the abuse?
Right. And sometimes anything can trigger a memory or something that they may have thought that they had completely gotten over, and something may trigger it and that bring up all that anger again. So they're continually having to work on that.
Okay. How often do they let their anger overpower them? Like when they have flashbacks and reminisce over the past and what has happened to them?
Well, and that's a question that I personally couldn't answer. That is sort of like on an individual by individual basis. Certain women may have a better control on it, and just depending on what has happened to them and just how their maybe their defense mechanisms or their whatever, their control on the anger, how they handle it. So I can't really say, because it is an individual by individual
Feeling.
Yeah.
Do they blame themselves for the things that have happened, like the reason they're so angry and so aggressive?
Well, a lot of times, yes, they definitely do. And what I deal with in my clients, a lot of times they do blame themselves. What has happened in a domestic violence relationship is a lot of times the partner, the batterer that abuses them, does all kinds of things, mind games, manipulation. They blame the victim, and over time the victim herself starts to believe these things, so she will feel blame herself, and maybe if, like you're talking about the anger, she may even not acknowledge she's angry at him, and maybe she blames herself.
Feel like it's a self problem.
Yes.
And not a problem that
Yeah.
is actually on the other person's
Right.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you all, as my sister's house, provide the kind of assistance that is needed for them to get over what they have been through?
Okay. Well, here at my sister's house, we provide many services. We do individual, we talk with individuals one-on-one, but one of the really good things is that we do have support groups. And in the support groups, they come in and we talk about a variety of topics, but like I was just mentioning, we do some things on anger. Like one of the titles is Anger About the Abuse, and then we have a second part to that, just sort of a follow-up. And just some things we talk about are different components of anger, and we talk about, things like anger in society, and anger historically, like what women have been taught about anger. Growing up, a lot of women have been taught it's not okay to be angry. Don't show your feelings. Don't have a temper tantrum, and to suppress that. And a lot of women have learned that, and so they might suppress, and what happens is eventually they may explode, and that's where you may have that aggression, because they have stuffed it for so long. So we talk a lot about that, and we talk about anger is a normal and appropriate feeling, and it often masks as other feelings such as fear, sadness, and betrayal. It's also, it can even be healing. Anger can be healing, But the thing is that is how you express it and to express it appropriately.
Okay. Have you ever, well, you can't answer this,
Right.
like, because you're not the client, but have you ever seen where they've been in a state of mind where anger just power you and you react from the thought of, like, what happened? Have you ever seen, like, that happen?
Not really, but talking about, sometimes when we do these groups, it really brings out some feelings. It brings it, start to surface.
Do it send them into, like, an aggressive state of mind?
No, not really, because it is it's a safe environment, and they don't feel like
they have to react.
Right,
it's like,
exactly.
I'm safe to talk about whatever,
yes.
and to express how I feel,
yes.
and there's no harm coming against me.
Right, exactly. And I didn't get to it, but I would like to say some of the things we do in a group when we talk about anger is we have an anger writing exercise where they can write a letter to the person they're angry at. In most cases, it's their batterer, and they can write whatever they want to in this letter, but then it's not intended for them to give it to the person. It's just to be able to get those feelings out, and then they can destroy the letter. They can ball it up or tear it up, or well, they can't hear it at the group, but they could even take it home and burn the letter. Whatever is sort of symbolizing, releasing that anger. And we also do anger drawings, which is just a blank